Okay, well, my name's Doyle. I'm actually English. I moved to Australia just over 4 years ago, and at the moment I'm currently living in Melbourne, so that's why I travel over to Sydney for the Here For You workshops. I'm married to my wife Joanne, and I've got a baby daughter, Isabella, who's 10 months old. Well, actually, I'm a friend of one of the other mentors, Dave Brady, who was working in Melbourne at the time. Introduced through a mutual friend, and then Dave introduced me to Olivia. I think it might have been his birthday dinner, I think it was. And then we got talking at that dinner, and he just went on from there. And Olivia asked me if I was interested in becoming a mentor, and it just went on from there. I can't actually confirm if that's a yes, because they diagnosed when I was about 3 months old that I was deaf. There's no real reason really, it's just one or two choices. I was born in the early 70s, so that makes me fairly old. They think that my mother may have been exposed to the rubella scare at the time. Either that, or I was born with severe jaundice, which can cause deafness later on in my life. So 3 months old when I was diagnosed, I was deaf. Well, would I be? I would probably be about 3, maybe 4. Back in those days, we used to wear hearing aid boxes that used to get strapped on to your chest. So it's a bit like those things when you go to the laser and you wear those straps around your chest. It's a bit like that, and the teacher will wear a microphone, and used to link up to that. We would have not the actual hearing aids itself, but just the earplugs or the ear molds. They would fit in, and you'd have wires that would come down to the box itself. So if you go to a museum, you might just find it in there. I think probably when I was a lot younger, in the early days, I would probably say pretty much the same as the person next to me, hearing person that is. I don't really recall any struggles or anything like that. I think maybe later on in life, especially when you come to high school, I think that's probably where the main struggles really start. Being able to understand the teacher in the classroom, being in a large group of people in meetings and things like that. That's probably where it was hardest for me. Well, I actually loved school. I think in the earlier days, when I was about 11, 12, 13, I used to work fairly hard and used to do quite well in classes. During that time, as I got older, the only outside help I had was they would visit me less frequently. So that was probably the one outside help that I used to have. And as I got older, they were probably thinking I was coping more, and I never spoke up for myself to say, yes, I do need help. So which is where I think it's important that Here For You comes in. So later on in school, I think it was hard to understand. Even though if I was make sure I sit at the front of the class, I'm always asked the teachers to make sure they face the class. You can only ask them once. They keep doing it, and you become sort of very disruptive in class, and you don't want to, because I'm always trying to think of other people in the class. So I tend to quieten down a bit and maybe not speak up enough for myself. So I guess I wish I had now, and maybe asked the teachers for more help, because I'm pretty sure they would have been more than willing to give me that extra time to help me. But I wish I did ask, but I didn't. Well, because for me, when I was at school, I think one of the biggest regrets was not actually asking the teacher for help, and I think they were more than willing to do so. I would actually say to them, don't be afraid to speak up. no one will laugh at you if you think they might do, but even if they do, you know, don't worry about it. You know, that they're only 14, 15, 5, 10 years time, you know, everyone's attitudes will change, and you know, I reckon those people probably look back on those school years and think that how strong that person was for speaking up at that time and asking for help, especially if you are deaf or hard of hearing. You know, it's okay to ask for that extra help, and I guess I wish I did that. I wanted to be a professional cricket player, but unfortunately I wasn't good enough, so I had to focus on becoming an accountant. I didn't go to university, which is probably one of the normal ways of getting a degree and going into becoming an accountant. I left school at the age of 17 or after my A-levels, and then I got a job with a small firm of solicitors in the accounts department. So I built up my experience there and gained some confidence to go for my second job at a much larger firm, and actually went into the city in London, and I worked for a very large American law firm, and I stayed with them for 10 years before I moved to Australia, and in that time I worked my way up to the accounting and control manager. With that comes a lot of responsibility, and I had to work my way up during my time there, and so that's what I ended up doing, becoming an accountant. I can't really think of anyone, to be honest. No one comes to mind. Probably the family, mum and dad and my brother, older brother, were probably the ones that come to mind about going to for support. At school or things like that, you know, you have your favourite teachers and the ones you can confide in, but normally it was people like my form tutor, so they're not really the teacher of the subjects that I was taking. So it's a little bit different like that, and yeah, so I just really, how I go with things, I just really got on with it, really. That's what. On a personal level, I guess that would be when my daughter Isabella was born. One of the proudest moments of my life, and something I will remember forever. Another level, probably my sporting achievements, representing England Deaf Rugby and England Deaf Cricket. So that's my greatest achievement, I think. I guess the biggest obstacles in life for me so far was when trying to get a job. Luckily for me, back home in England, I stayed with the one company for 10 years and built up my career that way. Of course, it was a big change for me to move to Australia, and obviously to persuade people to give me a job. And the biggest obstacle for me then was to change their perception of someone who's deaf or hard of hearing, what my capabilities were and my abilities to do the job. It's always like hitting your head against a brick wall half the time, so just needed that opportunity to explain to them that I can do this, and I'd always ask them for, especially like them, talking like them, the recruitment people, always ask if I can meet them face to face, and more times I was unsuccessful in getting to meet them face to face, but those that I did, you always see their reaction of a genuine surprise at how I come across when I do meet them. And so yes, I guess it's trying to persuade them to say, please meet me first before you decide to, not put me forward for this job. So that's how I did it. No real motto comes to mind, except that I just get on with it, really. Just go with the flow. fairly easy, laid back kind of person, but do take the serious stuff seriously. So yeah, I just sort of live for the moment, in the now, really. Oh well, obviously they have to come along to the workshops themselves to find out what it's like, but to give a brief summary, I think one of the major things is that they get to we get to share our experiences of growing up with the kids that come along, and hopefully they will see that, you know, that they're experiencing the same thing, and whilst, you know, we can learn from mistakes, well, not mistakes, but we can learn from obstacles of what's happened, and over time, especially with age and experience and having a career, your confidence builds up. And so what we're saying is that, you know, you don't need to wait until you're in your 20s and your 30s to do that. You can do that now when you're at school. Give them that confidence to speak up. Give them that. Give them ideas on how to overcome obstacles. We're not telling them what to do, we're just showing them that there are options out there. They don't have to take the option that they're told to do, or what other people think is best for them. You know, what I don't realise, that, you know, there are plenty of options out there for them, and I think we're just really trying to open their eyes to what's out there for them. So that's one of the things that they can get. Yeah, I think there's quite a few to choose from. I think the one that stands out for me is one of the guys that came along. Actually became a school prefect not long after he attended our workshop. He never even in a million years thought about becoming a prefect until, you know, he was encouraged through our workshop. Stand up for what you believe in, or you know, gaining some confidence, and it was a very nice surprise to hear, you know, not long after the very first workshop that we did, that he became a school prefect. So that's probably the best story so far. On a personal level, I've just become a stay-at-home dad. I'm looking after my daughter Isabella, and my wife's gone back to work full-time. So this is, I've been doing it for a month now, so it's been a real challenge, but one that I've enjoyed immensely. So I'll probably do that for, you know, 6 months, maybe to a year, to see how that goes. From a Here For You angle, got a lot going on behind the scenes, so we're looking to expand Here For You, looking to bring that to Victoria, to Melbourne as well, and maybe to Queensland. So slow progress, but I've been getting more involved in hopefully setting up the Victoria branch of Here For You.